Greetings, welcome to the Instagram family, welcome to the YouTube family. It is podcast time, so I might have to adjust the thing out. It's a sitting standing desk right now, so I might have to push it up, push it down with this handy dandy remote right here. So, my buddy Michael is going to be our guest today. Super excited to have him on. All right, I think that's a good middle ground. All right, but greetings and welcome to We're Doing Podcasts Now. Episode 9, I think it is, which is kind of wild. But yeah, here we are. About to jump right into it. But good afternoon for you all, or good morning, whenever you guys are watching this. Welcome in. Indeed. So, what's new? Since last week, not much, but it's the same old, same old. Sorry, I'm just gonna. We've got all kinds of stuff happening these days. Oh, are we episode 10? I think we're episode 10, which is just kind of crazy. A lot of stuff's going on all across the world. I'm not going to say much. I will just say, as far as the coronavirus is concerned, wash your hands, stay safe, do your best to be kind to people. If you need to see a doctor. If not, don't. Take care of yourself. Take care of people. That's all I'm going to say. But it's a strange time. It's a very strange time to be alive, with all the isolation stuff going on, with all the quarantine stuff going on, with things shutting down. It is a very strange time. But anyhow, that being said, another day, here we are, just doing what we do, continuing on, doing what we do every day. But welcome in, my friends, welcome in. So, what's going on? What have I been doing? Been the same old. My next session of school started today. I'm in a health and wellness class, particularly in relation to education, and a environmental science class. So excited to start that and kind of get learning in there as well. We wrapped up the last session a couple weeks ago, and then I'm trying to take a vacation in 7.5, 8 weeks time once this all kind of comes to a close. Trying to book a flight out. Luckily, they're fairly cheap right now, so if I book it now, hope this stuff will be blown over by the time. We'll see how it all pans out. I'm going to give it a week or so, and then look at booking that flight out for a couple of mini vacation. But yeah, here we are, living life. Still tutoring, still working at Starbucks, still my tutoring gig moved online because of just for health concerns, for making sure that we're taking care of everything, being transparent and open and honest about these things. So because I wasn't feeling too hot the other day, so I wanted to make sure that I was giving myself the best chance to rest and not get sick, because no matter what's going on, I really want to be healthy and want to be pushing myself. But yeah, it is a good sign. My class is in, oh my goodness, Hamlet. We're doing Hamlet now, which is awesome. And I was so sure that we were doing Macbeth that I started with Macbeth. And that was so embarrassing. But yeah, we're doing that. We dug into Act 1, and it was really it's great because there's some recurring themes you see all throughout all throughout Shakespeare, and one of those themes is the theme of Romeo and Juliet, the theme of star-crossed lovers. You see it in Shakespeare. You see it in Romeo and Juliet. You see it in even in this one in Hamlet, where it was talking about goodness gracious, the name of this particular woman slipped my mind, but Hamlet was not a good match because he was in different status as she was. It's an interesting recurring theme, and a very relevant theme to that time in history. But yeah, just waiting to get my guest on here. He's going to come join me via Instagram Live, I believe, unless we just get him on via phone call. So I may actually end the Instagram feed in 1 second here, just to make sure everything's in order and make sure that we're sitting pretty. But I'm also testing the bandwidth, because people are on the internet a lot more now, because they're at home, they're working from home, they're socially distancing themselves, isolating themselves, quarantining themselves for whatever reasons, and so a lot more traffic on the internet. So we're gonna kind of see how this all pans out on the bandwidth. So I'm gonna end the Instagram here, make sure that everything's in order, and we'll go from there. Boop. All right.
Incoming message.
Awesome.
Incoming message.
Sweet. Let me awesome. Let me see if we can add you here. All right. So we are live. I'm gonna see if I can get him on. We may just have him phone in out, but we'll just play it by ear. Can you see my lives here on the computer? You might be able to. What we're just gonna have to do is we're just gonna have to have him phone in, I think. Okay. Sweet. Might have you phone in. All right. But in the meanwhile, what's been going on? I've been working on this new design. I showed you guys last week. I'm trying to put some more stuff on the old Etsy shop. Here we got the picks up, which we have this big old box back here. I'm super stoked about this. If we get Michael in, then we'll go ahead and do this. All right, let's just give him a ring here. Audio. All right, let's get him on.
Hey, man.
Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Fantastic.
Awesome. So you are now live on the YouTube channel and just on the phone by the webcam.
All right.
Found some things that were going on and giving some updates for people. Talking about some new T-shirts coming out, some new different things, and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're excited about that. I'm super excited for the flexibility and the margin to that, especially in this kind of crazy time that we're in these days.
Yeah.
Like, everything is it's just very strange. I'm not a doctor. I can't speak to much other than stay safe. Stay clean, do what you can. But at the end of the day, it's a very strange time.
Agreed. Yeah, it's kind of nutty. Things are changing every day.
Oh yeah, things are opening, closing. There's social distancing, isolation. There's quarantines for different people. So it's a very interesting and confusing time for a lot of people. So
yeah, I saw a friend of mine today at the grocery store, and I wanted to hug him so bad. I was just like, "Oh,
yeah,
we can't do that right now."
Exactly.
It broke my heart.
Absolutely, it's very strange. There's been a lot of elbow bumps, a lot of kind of like head nods and waves these days. So, I imagine it's going to pass. I don't know how soon, but I feel like, if the right precautions are taken, it'll blow over eventually.
That's the hope.
Yeah, it's, I don't know enough to say.
Yeah. We know what we're hoping for, though, and that's nothing wrong with that.
Definitely. But yeah, just a bit of the same old. Today, my class that I tutor, we actually went online. So I held a meeting on WebEx today, which is kind of a fun new thing to do for me. Yeah, so we hosted it, and the cool thing about today is the technology is such that I was able to just allow them into a Google document for different assignments and responses, and they could just type stuff in there, and that was really cool. It's a time in technology, in history, where we have the ability to do this, whereas historically, it might not have been the case.
Sure.
And a lot of work can go to digital. Not every work. I mean, my Starbucks job is just extra sanitization. We're still going in as it stands. There's not been any moves to shut that down. So it's really kind of been a bit of the same old there.
Did you work today?
No, today I just had the tutoring thing online and a little bit of school introductory stuff. My classes started today for environmental science and educational health.
So are you having people? Is Starbucks? Because I think as of last night / this morning, you're in Georgia, right?
Yeah, I'm in Georgia, so it's a little different here.
Yeah. Here in Washington, restaurants are closing.
Yeah, restaurants are closing. Oh yeah, a lot of places you can't gather in larger groups. At least that's been proposed, or so I've seen. It's very strange, but it's not happened here just yet. I know that if I was to get sick with the coronavirus, I would still get paid. Starbucks as a company is offering pay for whatever you're scheduled for, so that's awesome. But not everybody has an opportunity. So,
yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to be fairly healthy this whole time and not really had much to worry about. So I'm just trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, same here. I mean, there are some people that are saying that it's just going to have to go through its rounds, and that meaning it's just going to have to run through the communities and get, like, a lot of us are potentially going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is they're just trying to slow, like, let's not all get it at once.
Definitely,
Let's kind of stagger it.
For sure.
If we can.
Yeah, it's in some ways in our hands, in some ways out of our hands. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think what's scary about it is that it is out of our hands.
Yeah.
It's like when the power that you do have, or the hope that you have is just to slow the inevitable.
Yeah.
And that's what they're making it sound like, that it's like it's inevitable, it's going to sweep the globe. I mean, that's been the trend.
Yeah.
And I watched a YouTube highlight of one of the morning shows, and they were talking about, there were a couple of doctors on there saying that they're confident that we're going to get to the point that Italy has been at for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The complete
shutdown
of everything. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's quite the circumstance. Quite a moment in history.
Yeah, they'll be talking about this for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
But coronavirus aside, it's what we can do, we're doing, and beyond that, what individuals can do is in some ways minimized. As a person myself, what I can do, I can wash my hands, take extra vitamins, avoid contact, keep social distance, just be smart about it. Most of us, that's kind of where we are. If we don't have it, just do our best to stay healthy and do kind of what we've been doing as much as possible. Just be safe, be cautious. So moving on from that, this been a really relaxing week for me. Because I haven't had to deal with this so much, it hasn't really affected a ton of my day-to-day life. We get a little bit slower currently at work, so the tips are a little bit less, but as far as getting paid, it's still coming through for whatever I'm scheduled. So I'm still showing up and I'm still doing that. We get a little announcement in our ears that says wash your hands every 30 minutes or so. Sometimes even more often than that. So we get notified of that. We're taking precautions, sanitize door handles, all that. So, but yeah. So as far as my normal life, though, it's kind of going on the same. I had a little bit off of school, so I had the opportunity to rest some and catch up on some sleep that I needed to catch up on from being so busy. Because as you and I talked about before, I've mentioned before on the podcast, I've got my tutoring job, my Starbucks job, I'm doing school. I just launched my Etsy shop. Still making music, still training for a marathon, still trying to do this podcast pretty frequently. So it was nice to have a week to just catch up and just rest. So for me, this last week, as crazy as it's been for the world, it's been exploding. It's been a lot of stuff going on. This week for me has been actually really quite relaxing, which has been much needed. But it's been an interesting contrast to the rest of the world. Because my day-to-day life has just been very relaxed this last week. And we're about to kick back into high gear because school started again today. and we're back in the swing of things. But it was nice to have like a nice little week to just like take a break, breathe. And then even today with I had like a half session of class as far as the hours go. We still did all of our subjects and whatnot for my tutoring, but it was 3 hours versus like 6.5, 7. So it was a nice, it's been a nice little respite before kind of getting back into the swing of things. And
I think it's turning out to be that for a lot of people. I know like, I'm in the same boat in the sense that I'm healthy, and not like, even if I was to contract the coronavirus, COVID-19, I wouldn't be all that concerned, because it sounds like, I mean, obviously they've been preaching it nonstop. The people who are at risk are the older, those with compromised immune systems, and it's like right now I got a killer immune system. My wife and I were both pretty healthy, so it's kind of like everything shutting down. This sense of the community going dark. It has been disconcerting, but also it has been providing sort of a weird, like you said, a kind of a bit of a respite, and it's it's interesting. And I think just this is when you really value your community leaders, I think, because those are the people that are working overtime.
Absolutely.
A friend of ours, the guy who leads our Bible study, named David Carlson. He handles. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna mess up his. I don't know what his actual job title is, but he handles. He works for a hospital system, and they own. Gosh, I think like 50 plus hospitals or something like that. They run like 50 plus hospitals, and he plays a major role in making sure that the supplies are getting to the hospitals, and that was his job before the coronavirus. And now it's like it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I heard him talk about it, and even like 3 weeks ago, he was talking about how he was just working so overtime, and now how the coronavirus putting so much added pressure on his job, and just as a higher up in the hospital. Whereas me, it's like I worked at a hospital too, but I'm a nursing assistant, So yeah. I'm on a med surg unit, and for me, it's like I clock in, I go to work, and I follow the necessary precautions to not get it and to not spread it, and then I clock out and I go home. Whereas our leadership is they're thinking about it around the clock, because it's like it's something that is evolving. And those who are in community leadership, they're having to keep an eye on it 24/7 right now. And so, really, I think a lot of the time we can kind of maybe not appreciate our community leaders in the season for being upset with, the system, I guess, but it's in moments like these where you're kind of like, what, I'm really glad I'm not in that position.
Definitely.
And I'm thankful that they
are. Absolutely. I think that's huge. Like seeing what they're doing and seeing that they're just being absolute troopers. These people are just pushing through and just being there and being present in that and taking care of these things that, they are much more qualified than I am in every way imaginable. And so like seeing that it's huge to be. I'm not in that experience myself, and so I think that's got to be quite the experience.
True.
But yeah, we dug into Hamlet. I thought it was going to be Macbeth, so I was a little more excited about that one. We dug into Hamlet with my students. We're doing that. We're still in. We're doing some Plato. We're doing Meno. We're asking this question in my class: what is virtue and can it be taught? Which is such an awesome question, and they have just really had a chance to dig into it. And it's awesome that that I'm able to be a part of this, and that they're the students that I tutor are really awesome kids. And it started off rough because I was brand new to the program, brand new to tutoring this way. and they had been through a lot of change their last semester because they didn't have a very consistent tutor for last semester. So having somebody, come every week and just be consistent has been huge for them. But also like having them be there and having them participate has been really big for me. It's been like such an awesome kind of give and take of being with these students and learning alongside them and being there with them. And it was it's really refreshing actually to go and sit with them, or even today over the internet, just be there with them, be present, and have that discussion, that back and forth. They're doing that. It's been really, really awesome to have that. They're asking real questions, and I think that sometimes it's good to have stuff to do, to have a distraction. I think that I feel for the people who don't have a lot to do right now, because I'm still pretty busy, so I can kind of just put my head down and do the next thing. But a lot of people are dropping, pretty much everything and just not having much to do. School's been stopped, or they've gone to a new platform online for some students, or work has been closed for them, or things like that. So like I am so blessed to be where I am, to have these things to do, to take my mind off of it, to have a little bit of a distraction, and to push myself to something and to be growing through that. So it's, like I said earlier, it's been such a weird like a juxtaposition, like that contrast between the fact that it's been really good for me, but I've seen it affect people in really negative ways too. So it's been like such a weird time for that, because my life has been pretty much the same, but then other people are affected by this so much. And like you said, I'm being young and healthy, like I'm not likely, even if I do get it, for it to be huge. Like, if they say that in some cases it's not as bad as like a really bad like flu, so it's symptom wise, for people that aren't getting it really bad, that are not at risk, like not huge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been interesting to have that distraction, to have that contrast
Right.
there. So you're still making music with your band?
Yes.
That's awesome. I see all the updates. I still follow you guys. I wish I could like teleport to my phone sometimes to see you guys at your shows, because it's been really cool to see that.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, we haven't played a show in a little bit. We're kind of in a weird place today. I'm actually sitting in our rehearsal space right now. My wife is getting lunch with a friend, and so I came here early. She had a meeting with somebody, and so I'm here at the practice space early. And today is going to be I guess you could call it a writing day, a songwriting day. We're gonna figure out. We've got a few new songs, like 4 new songs that we're pretty ready to start working on as a band. Or I shouldn't say, we are working them as a band, and so, but we also are feeling the need to really start booking shows. But man, we have not figured that out. We know how to book a good show in Kitsap. That's not too much of an issue, because that's where we're from. We're from Kitsap, which for those of the listeners who may not be familiar with the area, we're just about a ferry ride away from Seattle. So we're across the sound from Seattle. So we're very close to Seattle, but there is just that short little ferry ride. It's actually makes quite a gap. So if you're from Kitsap, you're not from Seattle. You know? So it's kind of like, we want to play there. It's a major market for music, and it's a place that we want to kind of start developing some roots. Man, it's been hard. It's been hard, and we've kind of been trying to figure out how to go about it. It takes a lot of time. So yeah, we're kind of thinking that we're going to be needing a booking agent here pretty soon.
Trying to grow, and so this is a new growth period for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This will be good. It'll sometimes you take you take hurdles and you just do what you can, and you do your best to get over them. And more than hurdling over them, you kind of like, lob yourself over the side, and you
Yeah,
make it.
right. That's what
So
it feels like for booking. That's for sure.
definitely. Yeah, I've only ever played at open mics myself. I've never like played a show properly.
Hmm.
So I've never had that experience. So I really can't speak to that, but I know that you guys have got a good crew. You guys make good music, and with good perseverance, I'm sure I'll get a chance to get some good shows up there. It'll just take that pushing through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've played some shows over there, but it's they weren't they were middle of the week. Like I think there was like a Tuesday and a like a Tuesday and then another one on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
And that was several years ago, and they were such flops that we were like, man, okay, we gotta rethink. It's not about just getting what they'll give us,
yeah,
because it's kind of it's expensive, just like the fare to drive over,
yeah,
to get four people and two cars over, and then everybody's got to eat. It's $100 just to get to the venue.
yeah. Absolutely. Tug a lot of equipment.
Yeah, and we're basically like, to get a good show, we almost like to book a good show. We almost have to pay to do it.
Yeah,
because we have no draw. So that's the only way we can create incentive for bands that do have a draw and have already tapped into the market there. So
definitely.
yeah, but we're figuring out. So that's sort of the next step. We social media has actually been a big part of helping me learn that next step. That next step for us is because we've spent a long time developing our product, which is the music and the live show, and then sort of a artistic direction for the merchandise.
Yeah,
we've developed that, and we're really proud of it, and we think people will like it when they find it. But man, it's about getting it in front of people, and I'm really learning that it's a whole another part. The business portion of making a living off of music it's a full-time job. It's a lot of work just to make something, but it's a whole nother animal to distribute it. And
definitely.
It's remarkable how much work it is. And I'm only scratching the surface, and I'm like losing my mental real estate. It's like, okay, it's like I'm trying to write new music. We've been playing the same set for years now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's time to start infusing some new stuff. I find myself in the situation where it's like, okay, well, we all still have our day jobs. So with the little bit of free time that we have between work, family, and other responsibilities, am I going to use it on improving the product or distributing the product?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a lot, and part of it is also I am not the personality really. I'm learning how to be a businessman. I'm learning what it takes to be a booking agent, but it's not coming natural to me.
For sure.
It's not like there's a steep learning curve for me as an individual, whereas others are maybe excited at the prospect of this kind of work. But for me, it's kind of like, whoa, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing,
Definitely.
But so that's, I had alluded to, we're looking for a booking agent, and man, I tell you what, like the amount of responsibility that a booking agent has, it's like this person's the amount of work that they're going to be doing for the band to get us to where we want to get to, it's like they're going to have to be almost a fifth member of the band, just in a non-musical capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's weirdly enough, in the marketing department, I found with me creating new products, like part of the work is making it, part of the work is getting it out there. And I've got a set of business cards that I need to print out, just so I can start handing them out and start getting the word out. Because the product that I make right now is just iron-on t-shirts. It's pretty easy, pretty simple designs, just black and white right now, as I've kind of been starting to learning how to do it. People enjoy it. People like the product, but it's a matter of getting it out there, getting the word out there, and that's a whole different side of it. And like you said, juggling your actual life with the life that you try to do as an artist, like the things that you try to do, how much of that time goes to creating it, and how
Well,
much of that time.
and part of it, it's like that's what we want to be our actual life. It's like I want to quit my day job. I want to make music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only, exclusively. It's like I want to be able to trade that out, trade the day job for it, like make the music my day job. And a lot of people talk about how that concept frustrates them and it takes the passion out of the project for them. But not for me, man. It's like I love the idea of making money off of it and making a living off of it and coming to the family from that work, instead of the work I do at the hospital, which is good work, but just not where I find joy and interest.
And I can relate to that on a level with what I do, because what I do right now, what I'm working towards and my degree and whatnot with the tutoring, the teaching is so fulfilling and so awesome. And what I do as a barista even is amazing. And I get to make connections and be there with people, be present, and make the moment right for people. But like when I do this podcast or when I make a video or when I sit down, I write music or when I create a t-shirt or a necklace, whatever I'm working on, like that is where the innate joy like that is comes from for sure. So I can relate to that on a level for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's daunting as well as exciting. Yeah, I just don't. I know that I can do it, but I don't know that I can do both. So
for sure.
And I, a big part of it is my faith in my Savior. I get to come at all of it with I'm moving from accomplishment, from success, from victory, not towards it. I'm not waiting
exactly
for meaning. You know what I mean? I'm not waiting for fulfillment. It's like I have fulfillment. Christ has fulfilled me, is paid my debt with his life and death. And so it's kind of like I can trust him. And I know, I believe the Bible, and everything that it says, even in the things that I find hard to believe, I do believe. And so I know that as far as what I'm trying to accomplish in its relationship to my faith is, I see the work and I say, wow, it's like if I'm like, I know I can figure out how to do this, but I'm also working against the grain right now, against the grain of my personality and against the grain of what I'm good at as far as all this booking goes. But and it's daunting and intimidating and depressing on some days where it's just like, man, I don't know if I can do this. It's like I know that there's a way, and I think that I can find it. But the thing that keeps me encouraged in the midst of trying to figure out how to do something that I've never done before is knowing that my life has value based on the hard work that he did for me. And so I don't have to necessarily, it's like, my success or failure with this won't impact my overall satisfaction with life and hope,
Definitely.
And it also lends to the idea, it's like, Lord, if God is interested in the financial and economical success of my band Selah Cora, then he's going to show me how to do it, and he's gonna perk up the right set of ears to hear the music or to see the live show or the right conversation with the right person. He'll put things in place, and he does that for, I believe, everybody, whether they believe in him or not. Those circumstances are curated by God and his Holy Spirit. And so while I talk about it as such a daunting task that I may or may not be able to do, there's also that aspect that allows my shoulders to relax and the anxiety to melt away, in the sense that, if it is his will, it won't not be done, and yeah. I can relax in this work, and I don't have to stress it. Not to say that I don't need to be breaking a sweat.
Absolutely.
But I don't need to necessarily be stressing it. And to that effect as well is, if I am, if I am meant to accomplish something completely unrelated to music, and I have the music surrendered to his will appropriately, then, he'll show me what the next step is outside of music when I need to take it, and I can trust him for that.
Absolutely. And that's a big part of kind of growth, is realizing that your value does come from him, and from that as well. Because if you're so caught up in thinking, oh, my value is based on my career success, or my value is based on how much money I make, or where I live, or these kinds of things, you get caught up in like that anxiety of like, oh snap, I have to do these things. So having that is very freeing. And on days where whatever it is you're doing is daunting, it's good to remember that, to like remind yourself of that promise, and just stay the course and continue to keep things going. I follow a lot of inspirational stuff online these days, because I've been trying to like shift the way I think about things, and be very positive, and very motivated in what I'm doing, especially with juggling these different things I'm doing right now. And I see a lot of the same things. Of number one, like when when something is right, or that it's good, to do it and to go at it with vigor, regardless of how long it might last, or how what it might become, things like that. And you're seeing a lot of like stay the course, like just when I thought it was going to be over, I kept going for just a little bit longer, and then it turned around. And so I felt, my students and I talked today about the importance of balancing the comfort zone with growth. Whereas some days you need to sit back, refocus, recenter, get in your comfort zone, breathe, and then get back into growth, and moving yourself outside of that comfort zone, in every aspect of life. So it's been a really interesting conversation we had today, and I think is a recurring theme recently. It's been, for me, coming here to Georgia, starting new jobs, getting into school again. All this has kind of come down to surrender, and just trying new things, and doing new things. The year of surrender and growth is what I'm calling this year, of just opportunities to
say that again.
The year of surrender and growth.
The year of surrender and growth. Okay.
Yeah, so that's been a big theme this year. It's just been getting back into things, or getting into new things even, and starting afresh. I was taken care of. I was doing well, but like stepping back, and trying something new, and being here with family, and being close to my grandparents for their health concerns and whatnot. And just being able to be around that, and to start over, and become from a sous chef to a barista, from experience. But I think that allowed me to take some time to recenter and grow, and then get back into that focus for that long-term goal. And I think that's been so fulfilling, and I'm doing these things, and I may seem very busy, and I may seem like I've got a lot going on. And while that's very true, it's been so awesome. I've been so happy, and so joyed, and God has been so faithful in all of it, that it's just been a matter of, all right, here we are. We're in this new place. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not even necessarily like, let's give it a shot. It's like, let's see what this next success is going to be. Let's see where Christ's victory, how it will manifest. And it's not to say that it won't manifest pain, which a lot of people interpret as failure. But it's kind of like, there's that sense of, it's like, you don't want to miss your one shot. You know what I mean? You got to work hard so that when your one shot comes, and that one great opportunity comes, you don't choke. You know what I mean? And then that is talked up by so many people, who are waiting for that shot, or who have seen that shot, took it, and had it successful. But it's like, in the kingdom of God, it's like, he's like, well, you missed it. You know what? There's more.
Absolutely.
There's more coming. There's more coming. It's not over. I'm going to give you another crack at it. And there's this notion of like, when your chance comes, you better not miss it. And there are so many people who are living life thinking, man, I missed it. It came and I missed it. And it's hard to live in that. But in the eyes of a lot of people, it is the truth. It came and you missed it. But the thing about it is, with Jesus, it's like, I'm going to give you another crack at it. You're going to get another shot at it. And it's the whole idea of, it's like, he came back to life. So
yeah.
And he talks about how we're going to come back to life with him. It's like, not only am I going to give you another crack at it, but you're going to live forever. And there's always going to be another great moment for you to look forward to. There's always going to be another great creative endeavor for you to embark on. And so I know that with me, with Thela Cora, I have and could interpret it as like, man, this is, it's like, I'm 30 now. I've been working on this band since my early mid-20s. It's been like 7 or 8 years since it started. Dude, it's like, if this doesn't work out, what am I going to do? Am I going to start a whole other band? If I care that much about music, it's like, there's that window that's closing on us in life, and it's it causes a lot of people to really get a fire in their belly and want to go after it, not miss it. And I think that is a beautiful thing when you see people inspired in that way. But it's in the midst of a real tragedy. The idea, it's like, your window is closing. It's like, okay, that is depressing. It's like, I don't like that. Jesus didn't live with that, and I'm not going to live with that. And while I do have that fire in my belly and that desire to succeed in this window of life, I know that Jesus Christ, when I breathe my last breath on this world, Jesus is going to open not just a window, but the floodgates, as the Bible says. He's going to open the floodgates, and those are never going to close. A lot of people talk about, it's like, life needs to end, and these things need to finish, and there's this sense of completion at death. It's like, I disagree. I see it exactly the opposite way. I can't wait for Jesus to open that window and never allow it to close again, and always be taking creative risks, and always going at it with everything that you've got forever. That's it. Sorry, I don't know how I got on this.
No, that's amazing. It's a reference back. When we're talking about grace, we're talking about how it should be encouraging, this idea of our right now in this life, that window closing, and this is our opportunity here to do that. But coming up in heaven, in eternity, like, the opportunity to continue to grow and continue to do new things and to try new things. And a lot of people, if they live in that,
I like the way you said that, the opportunity of eternity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like the way you said that. I might try and steal that from you.
You can take it. You can have it.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Something.
No, you're totally fine. That's a good one. It's I think that it's important to have that discussion, have that back and forth, to talk about, the importance of, yes, have that vigor, have that drive, have that push. But once again, remember, I came back and I started over. Yeah, that was a new chance for a new kind of victory. I had my own victory with what I had done in this Tacoma, Seattle area with work, and I had built some cool connections, and I had made some bit of a difference in the community, and it was awesome. And like, now here I am, get a chance to do it again. In a brand new place where I get to start completely over in so many ways. So it's been a huge reset and a restart, and we get that in life. Not everybody does, but I had the opportunity to restart, and I think that we all have opportunities to continue to grow all throughout life, and that's a huge thing to remember, because I do talk a lot about, like, let's hustle, let's grind, let's make this happen, let's push ourselves. But also remembering that, there's that famous Eminem song where he talks about, you have one shot, one opportunity, but we're most assuredly given plenty of opportunities and plenty of grace for to to slip up and to not have it work out exactly as we wanted it to. So
Mhm.
it's been that's huge to have opportunity to grow, to have an opportunity to um, sit with things and move on to new things. So I think that's a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, well, and you know that notion of that Eminem song, "Here's your one shot, your one opportunity." That's only beautiful if you took it and made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you took it and you missed it, and then it was your last opportunity, that's awful. That's
Oh yeah.
terrible. You know that's real tragedy. You know, and that's how it is. Not just with music and business and that kind of success, but with family. You know, it's like in this world, you do that. You get hopefully one spouse, or one great relationship, one relationship that forms a form of foundation in your life. Only so many children, and even within those relationships, it's like over the span of a lifetime, you can look at it as like I have one opportunity to do this right, to do right by this person, and to be the kind of father, mother, brother, sister, friend that I ought to be. And there are a lot of people that while second chances are things that come along, that notion that if you miss it here, you're never going to get it again. It's just not true. And I think that Jesus proves that. Sorry, I'm getting back onto the same thing again.
No, it's good. It's a good connection. We're bringing it all back to, and even going to get back into the coronavirus. Like a lot of people now are acting like, oh my goodness, be with your family, be with your friends, be present, take the time to do things you love. And I posted the other day on my social media platform. I said, hey, like, remember what you're talking about now when this all passes, and eventually it will pass. And when that corona is gone and it's history, remember how much you wanted to do music, or how much you wanted to do be with your family, or change careers, or whatever it is. Like, remember that feeling, because people are acting as if it's the only time that matters, is like today, whereas I feel like it always matters. And we're given opportunities to do new things and to grow, and by the grace of God, absolutely, for opportunities to go into new experiences and new things, to be the best we can be to our spouses, to our friends, to our mothers, fathers, children, siblings, to people we meet on the street. I think that's huge. So I think a big takeaway from today is just remembering that's we should live like it matters every day. Virus or no virus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, that is that might be a good place to round it out here. Thank you for coming on as a guest. This will be on my YouTube. I'll send you the link. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm going to post Michael Love's band in the description. Go check out their stuff. It's amazing. Show them some love. Follow their pages. If you're in the Tacoma, Seattle area, or the Kitsap area, go see them when they have a show. Buy their merchandise. Do your best to support them. I always try to talk about that whenever I have someone on that I can to plug, like my buddy Henry before, like my buddy Connor's podcast. Like, just go support them. I think that's especially right now, like small businesses, small bands, small groups have a harder time succeeding when everything shuts down. So just go show them some love, show them some support. But other than that, always live your best lives, love your loved ones, push yourselves, grow. Remember the grace that you've been given. Remember the life you've been given. Love your friends, your family, and peace out. We will see you all next time. Thank you for coming on, Michael.
Yes, thank you for the plug. Appreciate that.
Of course. And we're ending the stream. Boop. Did we do it? Did it?